Hey guys, welcome to episode 1. That's right, this is episode 1 of the Cartridge and Disc Podcast. Let's go. Well, humans, I started this podcast because I wanted to take a look at today's news, but with a different set of eyes. As we know, today's media is mostly about selling you something or some sort of hidden activism of some sort. And I like to take a look at the news, not only current, but maybe past events, with the set of lenses that we have now with our shared gaming experience. And let it be about the games, nothing else. Hello, humans and conversationalists all across cyberspace. Welcome, wherever you may be, to the Cartridge and Disc Podcast. Here where we examine today's video game news through the perspective of our gaming history. That's what we do here on this show. And we try to examine things just a little bit deeper, right? We go through a path that most people wouldn't take the news, right? We want to dig a little deeper into the story and see what we can talk about, right? Just get an interesting subject going. So today I want to talk about this new controller, this new device that's been announced for the PlayStation 5, right? And this show is actually based on a article that I posted up a day ago for members only. Remember, if you're a member of the show, you get to read a lot of my scripts before they turn into videos or podcasts. So that's one of the benefits. So what was I thinking when I saw this? Now, everybody saw this, and let me tell you, it's a day one for me, if I'm able to get it, right? It might be a hard get, but it's going to be a day one for me. But I was just not only thinking about a device that I could just, carry, something that's portable. For me, and let me just give you a little bit of background, for me, I hated the dual screen. When I saw the DS come out, it's something that I didn't like. I wasn't into it. I didn't want to get a DS. I eventually did get one, but it wasn't my first choice, right? I was more of a PSP guy. I liked the single screen experience. But once I did get to try the dual screen experience with the DS, and then even more with the Wii U, because let me tell you, the games that came on the Wii U that were done right were really good. That's when I started seeing the potential of the dual screen. Now, when I saw this announcement, the first thing that came to mind to me wasn't, oh, now I can play my PlayStation 5 games on the go. When I play the PlayStation, I really just want to play it at home. I really do. I was thinking more of a dual screen control, right? Because let me tell you this, guys, innovation is the lifeblood in the gaming industry. It really is, right? When you're pushing the boundaries and trying to redefine game experiences, that's when we really come up with some great ideas. And one of these ideas, and which I came late to the party, I must admit, was the Nintendo Wii U, right? When I experienced those games, I realized how much of a pioneer Nintendo was in this space, right? Because when it was done right, I really enjoyed the experience on the games. And then I was thinking, can they do it here with the PlayStation 5? Will anybody take a chance to use it as a second screen, right? And what the second screen really does is a few things. Number one, you get enhanced immersion, right? Just depending on the game, right? It has to be the right kind of game because you have to take your eyes off the primary screen. But there's certain instances, like let's say you're trying to, there's games in the Wii U where you would answer a phone, right? Or, get a text message or something like that. Something that you would do in real life. Something where you were, let's say, pointing a camera, right? Like you did in a couple of games, or you're trying to capture ghosts or using the camera to scan things. It's just a more immersive experience overall, right? And you get to play with new gameplay mechanics. A lot of times I get bored of the same rinse and repeat. I love first-person shooters, but I don't want every game to be a first-person shooter. And the same thing with RPGs. I love RPGs. I love the mechanics, but sometimes I need something a little bit different. Just something added so it's not so repetitive. And that really is where this screen, secondary screen, shine, right? And also talking about multiplayer experiences, things like that. But communication between multiplayers when you're playing. But what really interested me, right, as a person of my generation, Gen X, was the accessibility and convenience. Let's talk about accessibility. Accessibility is really, really important, right? Because as we get older, our hands slow down. But, there's so many more options for a player that has to interact with the screen and deal with things in the background, right? Because a touchscreen, if done correctly, can add layers and layers of content to that video game. And you can play it in a completely different way. I remember the first time I played Zombie U, right? Zombie U, I think the version of the Wii for me, right? I don't know for anybody else, but for me, it is the best version of that game, right? Using the screen to me just adds another layer, and I love playing that game from the very beginning. Splatoon, right? Splatoon, that quick jump, I remember was pretty cool. A game like Mario Maker, right? A game like Mario Maker, perfect for a second pad, right? Another game that a lot of people slept on, if you can catch it out there, get it. If you have a Wii U, is Splinter Cell. That second screen really adds a completely different layer. And not to say anything about games like Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame, I don't think can be duplicated in any other way, right? It's not the same experience. You can use a button, but it's not the same as a screen, guys. And those are the opportunities that you can have here using this controller as a second screen. Technology it continues to advance, right? No matter what you do. While the Nintendo Wii U was a commercial failure by any measure, right? I think the dual screen really still holds relevance in the gaming market. Not only from the Wii U days, from the Nintendo DS days, there's certain experiences you can't replicate. That's why certain games are not on the Switch, for example. And they create unique experiences that you can't create anywhere else with one screen. And as technology continues to advance and improve, we can anticipate further things coming to dual screen systems, right? Because you can only play first-person shooters for so long. Yes, games are great, but sometimes you need a break. And in that break, you may want to play something that's a little bit different. You may want to add another layer or two to your RPG, right? You may want to add a layer or two to, a game that you're building, a game where you have to build, a game where you have to interact, a game where you have to chat, a multiplayer game where you have to communicate with other players, and maybe necessarily you don't want to do it, through voice chat, right? Again, those are just samples of what could be done, Is Sony going to take advantage of that? I don't know. But I think that by harnessing the power of the dual screens, game developers have the opportunity to create unforgettable experiences for a lot of players that push the boundaries, that makes people want to immerse themselves in that world, in that video game. And then you create a loyal following that you're not going to lose, because they're not going to be able to replicate that experience anywhere else. Will Sony make the jump? Guys, I don't know, but I wish they did. And if they do, I'm going to be right on board. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for this first episode. This is just a taste of what you can expect. Again, the scripts for these shows and for other episodes are up on my community tab for those of you who are members. It will be released later on if you want to go back to these videos and just delve a little bit deeper and see where I was coming from in these particular episodes. English being my second language, sometimes it doesn't translate well overall. Sometimes I forget to say a couple of things, but if you look at the writings, you'll be able to dig a little deeper and see what I was trying to convey. If I didn't convey it well, or you may want to comment there and just give your point of view if it's different than mine. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you are enjoying this new type of content. If you do, I hope I earned your subscription, and make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I earned your subscription. Make sure to hit that like button. And if you'd like to, please subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.